guys, welcome back to Olivia's Blooms. I know I haven't posted a video in a while. I have been traveling and unfortunately also got pretty ill, but I'm excited to be back with a new video. So today's video is going to be all about how I transition my holiday and Christmas decor to some beautiful winter decor with not a ton of new materials or needing to buy a lot of different things, and still very garden inspired decor. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, especially as a gardener, these next few months, January, February, March, can be really hard because we can't be outside growing things here in Charlottesville. Charlottesville, we are now zone 7B. We just changed from 7A. And although we do have a nice long growing season, I do miss the times of year when I can't be outside all the time nurturing new plants and flowers. So the winter months at the end of the year are a little less hard because we have the holidays to distract us. But for me, how to get through these next few months is I really like to still try and make my home full of things from outside and not feel like there's this big gap after we take down all the holiday decor. So I'm going to show you how I just switch around a few things, and I'm still going to use a lot of greens. I think they're beautiful. They're still very wintry, and with just a few changes you can change the look from Christmas to Valentine's Day or just beautiful winter. So I'm going to take you along and show you some of the ways that I do that. And I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it inspires you to use some things from the outdoors in your winter decor this year. Here's a quick look at a centerpiece I made. This was my Christmas centerpiece, and I still left some of these silver ornaments because I feel like they do fine here with the Valentine's theme. And I left all the greens. They're still looking fresh enough. I left these beautiful candles, and I left the pine cones because to me pine cones are just winter fall. They don't necessarily have to scream holiday. And I replaced them with some of just these hearts that I already had. I didn't buy these, I just happen to have them in the basement. But if you don't have those, you can use, I have these dried straw flowers and some dried gomphrena that I used, which I think just bring this beautiful pink pop of color. You could also use red straw flowers if you have red for Valentine's Day. Some other things that you could use are, I have beautiful hickory nuts that I foraged. I haven't been putting them out because my dog Bear thinks that they're delicious. So I'll save those maybe for places higher up. But you could also put succulents in here. I think would be beautiful if you happen to have some. And I'm sure you guys have tons of other great ideas. So really simple swap, and just swapped out the red table runner for something white. And now it's perfect for Valentine's Day. Here's an example of just a little tray I put together in our bathroom. And this one should be, again, super easy to just switch out. And just by taking off these red ornaments and maybe even this tree. Now I'm going to take off the pine cones and the moss. I'm going to give this a little clean. Here's our nice clean slate, and what I'm going to do is just take a couple small succulents that I already had around. You can get them pretty expensive this time of year. I think I got these from Trader Joe's, and then I just bunched up some dried gomphrena that I'll lay right here. Simple but beautiful and very fresh winter, a little bit of Valentine's vibe. So now I'm gonna make just a winter arrangement, and and I got this beautiful vase for Christmas from my mom and very excited to use it. So what I did was I had these greens in another tray. These are some greens I foraged. They're pretty dried out at this point, but I'm okay with that. I think they still look pretty, and they're really just serving as the background for this arrangement. They are kind of messy, so as long as you don't mind sweeping though, then it's not a big deal. So I put them in here, took them out of the tray. I took out the red berries. You could leave the berries in. To me, they still read a little bit holiday, so I took them out. But I am gonna put the pine cones back in. And these are just some pine cones on a stick that I had that were in this tray. And I'm just gonna put some of these back in, because I think it still gives a beautiful wintry backdrop. But then what I'm gonna do, after I have some of these in, I am going to add some dried flowers that I saved to try and match my centerpiece with that Valentine's sort of feel. Put some down here. And you could always go and forage more greens as well. We have lots around here. But I'm gonna try and use these ones I already have that I still think look good. All right, so there we have the pine cones. Now let me see, I think I'm gonna add, I have some of this Dusty Miller. Look at how beautiful that dried. I wish I had dried more of this. I did these two as an experiment, and I just think this would be so pretty in like a wreath. But I'm gonna see how they look in here. It might be a little bit much. I only have 2 of these, but let's see how they look. I just like that pop of silver, but I don't know if I quite have enough to go for the look I want. Well, let's leave them in there and see where this goes. Sometimes that's how you need to make an arrangement. Next, I'm gonna use some of these white statice stems. They're a little brown. White is hard to dry, I think, but I still think they're gonna look nice in here. So I'm gonna try and put them in. You have to be a little bit careful with dried flowers. So I always save more than I think I'll need so that I don't feel guilty if I accidentally break a few stems. And again, this is making a mess of needles, but I think it'll be worth it to have a pretty arrangement I can enjoy for a while longer. Then I think I'm gonna add, let me see if I can get you with some better light here. I think I'm gonna add some of these Nigella pods. And one thing that's awesome about the dried flowers is if you have long stems, you can just cut them to the length you need, because again, they don't need to be touching water. And I don't have any water in here, but you could certainly add water if you want your greens to last especially long. So I'm gonna put some of those in there. Oh, I think those are really pretty. They add just sort of an airy quality. This is turning out beautiful. Gotta make sure the stem is in there. And I'm not focusing too much on the back because I'm gonna put this on a shelf where you're not gonna really see the back. So I'm gonna focus on the front here. And this is the time of year where I'm really thankful that I saved all of these dried flowers. See how that's looking? Oh, I love it. And I'll give you a close-up once we're finished. Put this down here. And then I think what I might add, I'm gonna see how it looks. I don't have enough of this pink, so I could either add the pink gomphrena, which I think is really pretty, or I could do these deep dark red straw flowers for a Valentine's vibe, but I'm thinking that might feel a little bit too Christmassy still, so I think I'm gonna go with the pink. And this is actually the Proven Winners Truffle of Pink Gomphrena, dried really beautifully. Very excited to have a lot of this. Just, I think, a few pops of this pink are gonna go far, so I'm not gonna add too many. But again, it's gonna really match beautifully with the centerpiece I made. And this did not take a lot of ingredients, and it cost me $0, considering especially that this base was a gift. Do another pop of pink maybe up here, and another one. Look at these nice long stems. I almost feel bad breaking them, but I don't need quite this stem length for this arrangement. Just a little bit of pink here. All right, I'm gonna call that finished. Let me give you a closer look, and then I'm gonna show you where I'll put this in my home. All right, so here's a closer look at what we made, and I just think it's stunning. And let's go find a pretty spot for this. And as you can see, it goes really well with my centerpiece too. It's the same sort of theme. And there she is. So simple, easy, and inexpensive way to flip your holiday greenery into something wintry and Valentine's. Here I just have one of my copper plant trays, and there's something about copper, almost like it's rose gold, that reads very Valentine's Day to me, and I just love this. So I am making the simplest little display. I'm taking some moss that I took off of one of my other holiday trays. I'll just spread it around. This could not be more simple. I'm just gonna put some pine cones on here haphazardly. And a couple of these hickory nuts I foraged, and just place this somewhere where when I come upon it, I'll have a nice little surprise. And then as spring comes, maybe I'll even add a little tulip or hyacinth to transition from winter into spring. So simple and cute. The last one's gonna be the easiest one, and I had sort of planned it this way, but this is the centerpiece on our coffee table, and I'm simply just going to take off the ornaments. And the trees, you could even leave the trees if you want, but I think I'm gonna take these off. Excuse the background noise. We redistribute these Nandina leaves, and I think that is a beautiful winter display. So easy. And here's just a look at how I changed our buffet. I kept the foraged arrangements. I think they're beautiful. And just put out a few different things. You can see we still have our wreath up, but we'll take that down. But I hope that this video inspired you to use your holiday decor and your greens to make a beautiful, welcoming home for the winter months as we wait for that growing season to begin. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you had as much fun making garden-inspired decor as I did.